crazy. Okay, so yesterday we did multiplying rationals. Today we're going to do dividing. There's two little different things. That's it, between dividing and multiplying. You're going to get an extra NPV. So you're going to end up with an extra NPV, and you're just going to have to do one extra step in the middle. Other than that, all the steps are exactly the same. Laughing at me? Okay, so we have 9 over 4 divided by 5 over 20, just a plain old fraction like we did before. The first step that you have to do when dividing by rationals is you end up actually just flipping the second half, which is called inverting, and multiplying. So you take this second half and you flip it. So you're going to get 9 over 4 times 20 over 5. So you multiply by the reciprocal. And you only flip the second half, not both halves, right? Now we're just multiplying like we were before. That's it. That's our extra step. We will get more NPVs, but we don't have any NPVs for this fraction because there are no variables, right? So just like yesterday, we say, is there anything in the top and the bottom that I can cross off? Is there anything common to the tops and the bottoms, the numerators and the denominators? Cody? 4. I can take a 4 out of 4 and I have a 1, and I can take a 20 out of 4 and I get a 5. Is there anything else I can take out now? Now that I've knocked that to a 5, I can take a 5 out of the top and the bottom, right? So 5 out of 5. And on the top, I'm left with 9 over 1. Do I have to write it as 9 over 1? No, I can just write it as 9. If it was 1 over 9, would I have to keep the 1? Yes. Okay. So dividing rational expressions. Factor all equations that take out a GCF. Factor just means difference of squares, right? Because that's the only factoring you guys have to do in 30-2. Now you have to state NPVs for anything that was or is in the denominator. So we state our NPVs for our denominator, like we did before, but we also have to state them for the top right as well. Why? When we flip that second half, what happens to the top right? It becomes the denominator. So if it was in the denominator or will be in the denominator, we have to state NPVs. So we also have to state NPVs for C. So the only thing we don't have to for division is the top left, the numerator on the left, because it never, ever, ever goes into the denominator. Okay? Most of the time on the diploma, I've found the NPV question is about division, because what do? They think you might forget to include the top right. Or some people include all of them then, they get overwhelmed. So the hardest NPV question is about the division, because you have to remember that both of the right-hand side ones, the numerator and the denominator, become the denominator at some point. Okay? And then you invert and multiply what you're dividing by, and then we reduce. So literally, there's only 2 extra steps. We invert that second half and multiply, and state an extra NPV or 2, depending on what is on the top right, the numerator on the right. Okay? Let's try it out. So example 1, you can do whatever you want first. Some people simplify first and then invert, which is what I usually do. Some people like to invert right away. It's up to you. I like simplifying then inverting only because then I remember to state the NPVs of the top right because I still have a division sign. If you invert right away, you're going to put a multiplication sign, and some people forget to state the NPVs of the top right. So it's up to you. But I'm going to do it after. So I simplify first. So just like before, x minus 5, I can't take anything out. So I'm going to leave it as an x minus 5, and I'm going to put it in its own brackets because the x and the 5 are because the x and the 5 are still attached. Okay. Then on the bottom, what can we take out, Teresa? A 3x. And I take out a 3x, the 3 and the x are in their own brackets. And I take a 3x out of 3x squared, and I'm left with an x. Minus 3x out of 9x, I'm left with a 3, because it's 9x divided by 3x, which is 3. Divided by I have a 5 on the top right numerator, so I'm going to leave that as a 5. And in the bottom right denominator, what can I take out, Mason? Bigger. Bigger. Yes. Take out a 6. And then you're left with x minus 3. So now before I flip, I always just state my NPVs. But if you flip and then state your NPVs, it doesn't matter. As long as you state your NPVs before you cancel, right? They always have to be stated before we cancel. So our NPVs are going to be stated for everything but the top left, but the numerator on the left. So 3 can't be 0, but it can't be. X can't equal 0. X minus 3 can't equal 0. So x can't equal 3. 6 can't equal 0. X minus 3 we already did. Do we have to do it again? No, we've already said that 3 can't work. So it can't work here too, but we don't have to state it twice. And 5 can't be 0. So actually the only NPVs we have are x can't be 0 or 3. Now we can flip that right-hand side, okay? So x minus 5, 3, x minus 3 times 6, x minus 3 over 5. What can I cancel, McKinley? McKinley, what do you think we can cancel? The x minus 3s? Anything else? And the 3 and the 6. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Can I cancel off this 5 and that 5? No. Because this 5 is attached to x minus 5. And the only way x minus 5 is going away is if there's an x minus 5 on the bottom, right? So we're as low as we can go. So on the top, we're left with 2 x minus 5. And then on the bottom, we're left with 5 times x, so 5x. So we'll try B together. So the top left, 2 and W. Alexis, can I take anything out? What about the bottom? A 4W. When I take out a 4W, I'm left with 6 plus W. Is 6 plus W the same as W plus 6? Yeah, it doesn't matter the order they're in. Divided by, Grant, what can I take out of the top right? 6W. And then I'm left with W minus 1. Parker, what can I take out of the bottom right? And 9 and a W squared. And then I'm left with W plus 6. So then I have to state NPVs, right? Everything but the top right. So 4 can't be 0, W can't be 0. Six plus W can't be 0. So W can't equal negative 6. 9 can't be 0. W squared would get you 0 again anyways, right? Because it's W by itself, so I don't have to state it again. W plus 6 is the same as 6 plus W, so I don't have to do that one again. 6 can't get me an NPV. W is 0 again, so the only one that I have left is W minus 1. So W can't equal 1. So my MPVs are going to be W can't equal -6, 0, 1. What do I do next? Cody. Flip what part? Flip the second part, yeah, second equation. So we have 2 and W and 4 and W. And I'm going to go W plus 6 just because most people can spot it better when the letters first, the variables first. Multiplied by 9, W squared, W plus 6 over 6, W, W minus 1. Paige, what do I do next then? So what can I cancel? Two out of 2 and 2 out of 4, yeah. W squared and one of them can cross off, yeah. The 9 and 6, what can I take out? Yeah. If we take out a 3, we're left with a 3 and a 2. And then it doesn't look like anything else cancels. So on the top, I'm left with 3W. And on the bottom, I'm left with 4W minus 1. Okay, we're going to do C. Top left is C. Grinky, what can I take out? 2 X's is what you're saying? Yeah. I was like, yeah. I hear you. I see you. I get it. Bottom? Nothing. Ooh. King Unicornio. What can I take out of the right side? Oh, yes. And the bottom right-hand side? Oh, King Unicornio, the bottom right-hand side, sir? Princess Bree, what can I take out of the top or the bottom? Can I do that right now, or what do I have to do? NPVs, see? That's why you're a princess. Okay, show. What can I take out, or what's my NPVs? So 16 doesn't work, 10, you don't have any. You have a half from the 2x minus 1, yeah. And something else. And a 0. What do I do next? Magical McKinley. What do you do? Mystical Mason, can you help out Magical McKinley? You inverse the right hand side, yeah. And then multiply, right? You just didn't want to answer all the questions, right? You wanted to give other people a chance. Yeah. All right. Jester Joseph. What can we do next? And what do they become? 5 and 8. Anything else? No. So we're left with 5x over 8. And a 2x minus 1. Checking if you're paying attention. Good thing you are. That's an 8. So 4x squared minus 1 is a difference of squares. Did you guys spot that? Or did you leave it as 4x squared? Okay, good. If you didn't spot it as difference of squares, please put a little note and remind yourself to remember about difference of squares because everyone forgets those. It's just a common thing. So we have 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1. Okay, then x plus 2. Bad idea. And then the top right, you can take out a 2x. You're left with 2x plus 1. And then on the bottom, you can take out an 8. And then you're left with x squared minus 4. What is x squared minus 4? Difference of squares. So you're actually going to end up with 8, x plus 2, x minus 2. Then we do our MPVs. X plus 2 can't equal 0, so x can't equal negative 2. 0, negative a half, and negative 2, 0, and positive 2. So if we wanted to write these together, it would be x can't equal plus or minus 2, 0, negative a half. Okay, then we write it over again with the right-hand side inverted or flipped. So 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. Oops, 8. X plus 2, x minus 2 over 2, x, 2x plus 1. Now we cancel. Caitlin, what can we cancel? Two x plus 1? Take 2 out of 8 and get 4. 2 out of 2 and get 1. I think that's it, hey? So you have 2x minus 1, x minus 2 over x. Okay, then flip to the next page. Oh, and a 4 that I didn't want to write. Good call. Okay, try them out. In example 2. All right. On the top left, you can take out a 15x, and you're left with 2x plus 1. The bottom left, so the new denominator, you can take out an x minus 3. the top right, the numerator, you can take out an x squared. You're left with 2x plus 1. And in the bottom, you can take out an x, and you're left with x minus 3. All right. Then we can state NPVs. X can't equal 3. 0, because of the x squared. Negative half, because of the 2x plus 1. 0 again, and 3. So you don't have to state those. Flip the right-hand side. So invert it. And you get x minus 3. X minus 3 cancels. The x squared takes off the 2 x's. The 2x plus 1 goes away. And you're left with 15. And then this one, you can take a 3 out of the top. You're left with 2d plus 1. You have a 3d in the bottom. Divided by 2d plus 1 over 4. So I get 3 times 2d plus 1 over 3d times 4 over 2d plus 1. And my NPVs are going to be 0 and negative a half, which all of them have. All the multiple choice answers have. D can't equal. The 3's cancel, the 2d plus 1's cancel, and we're left with 4 over d, which is D. If you go to the bottom of the page, the assignment is down there. That's what you have to work on. It's on the bottom right. Right here. So work on that.